Who are the 16 new imports coming to play in NBL 1 West this season? Well, ladies and gentlemen, I'm here to answer that. No, I've not seen every single one play, but I'm going to give you a brief description and rundown of strengths, weaknesses, where they come from, stuff like that. So let's get into it. First up, we have the East Perth. Now, they signed Max Rice, who is a 6'3" point guard out of Boise, who went to Boise State University. That's really funny to me, because Boise State's really funny. College, he shot 39% from the field and 35% from three, so he can definitely shoot the ball. And from what I've seen, he most recently played in Denmark, but his stats were awful. So I'm not sure how accurate they actually are. So we'll see how he goes this season. Sticking with East Perth, they also signed Matthew Lang. Matthew Lang is also a 6'3" point guard. Questionable. I've seen him in person. He's probably more like 6'1" though. He's from Portland. He's played Division 1 basketball at Gonzaga and University of Arizona, so some pretty big schools. Now, he didn't get much playing time, so he didn't have the most amazing stats, but I've actually seen this guy in person, and he is super poised. He can really play out of the screens. He's got a nice handle on him, and he's super patient, and man, can he shoot. So he's a nice pickup. Kind of confused with what East Perth is doing here, because they've got 3-point guards, Taylor Young, Matthew Lang, and Max Rice now. So Corey Easley, legend of the game, Corey Easley said that most teams need to run 3-point guards now. So maybe they know something I don't. This is why I'm not coaching the league. We're moving on to the Redbacks. There we go, my favorite team. They're going to win all this year. They signed Emmanuel Conway. Sorry if I'm mispronouncing the crap out of that name, but he's actually out of Britain. Wonder if we've ever had a British guy import before. I don't know. He recently played in Essex Rebels down in London, where he averaged 14.3 points a game and 7.8 rebounds. Now, he's only 6'9" as a center, so kind of undersized, but coming into NBL 1, he might do pretty well. Don't really know much else about him, but from the highlight clips I have seen, dude looks like an absolute beast in the paint. I think he'll fit quite nicely with Joker Green and Lockie Cummings. Like, he's a big boy, like, built, so I think he can set really good screens as well, which is what Redbacks need. Moving on to Lakeside. Now, before these imports were announced, I tried to get a bit of information about them out of Mike Millett. I messaged him, and he said, man, I'm cooking something up. So he signed Isaiah Lewis. He was a guy that was hard to find out about, because when you search his name, not much comes up, and then when you search his name for basketball at the end of it, there's like 30 Isaiah Lewises that have played college basketball. But I did eventually find a little bit about him. So he's a 6'1" guard out of New York. He's played Div 2 college basketball at Roberts Wesleyan University, and my guy can shoot the ball. He shot 39% from three. Mike Millett loves 3-point shooters. He was a 3-point shooter himself. He's a self-proclaimed Steph Curry before Steph Curry. He's also played professionally somewhere, but for the life of me, I could not find it. But it's another import coming into the Lakeside team when they already have 2 guards in Rowan McKenzie, Corey Sherville, and now Isaiah Lewis. So maybe Corey Easley's thing of you need 3 guards is probably accurate. They also signed AJ Wilson, who is a 6'7" forward who's played college basketball at both George Mason and South Carolina. But this guy is a defensive weapon. He had 230 blocks in his college career. So Lakeside already have so much offensive firepower. They now have a guy that's a defensive anchor for them. What does worry me is his free throw percentage. I think he shot 57% from the line, which is terrible. So maybe teams are just going to hack him. I don't know. But yeah, I think he'll fit really nicely in this Lakeside squad. After saying they've done nothing all offseason, Perry Lakes have signed 2 imports. They signed Jaden Stanley Williams, 6'7" forward. He's played college basketball at Morehead State University, but he didn't really get any minutes, so I'm kind of flying blind on this one. He did play pro over in Portugal, and he was pretty good. He averaged 19.7 points a game, 6.3 rebounds a game, and half a block a game. So he'll be a fun player to see. I mean, Perry Lakes, on paper, they never seem the most amazing, but then they always do pretty good, so we'll see how they go. They also signed Davin Miller, who is a 6'11" center, and he's played at a few colleges actually, and I couldn't really find too much about him, but from what I've seen, this dude looks like an athletic monster. So honestly, those 2 signings for Hawks, I'm not too worried about. I think they will be pretty good fits. Now we're going to Mandurah. Alright, everyone has told me this whole offseason how Utley is a great recruiter and finds amazing imports. I mean, he did find the greatest import of all time last season, so let's see if he can back it up again. Now we signed Jakor Ely, I hope I'm saying that name right, who is a 6'7" true point guard. That was their words, but from what I've seen online, he's a forward, but he might be running the point. We're going into positionless basketball these days. And if that is the case, if he's running the point, that is a mismatch nightmare. He played Div 2 basketball at Eastern New Mexico University, where he averaged 16.4 points per game, 4.5 rebounds, and 2.8 assists. He's also played over in Bulgaria, so on paper, this dude is looking very good. It has utterly gone 2 for 2 on signing amazing imports. They've also got themselves a big man, Sam Freeman. He's a 6'10 center. He's played both Div 2 and Div 1 basketball. Again, another player that didn't get too many minutes, so I can't really rely on his stats to see how good he is. But from the limited time he did get, he seems to be an amazing defender. So we'll see how he goes. Joondalup Wolves, they signed Joey Baker. I don't really have to say too much about him. I made a reel about him. You can go watch that on my Instagram. But dude was the captain at Duke. So have that. So he played at both Duke under Coach K, and then also played 1 year at Michigan under Juwan Howard. Played with some NBA superstars, Zion Williamson, RJ Barrett, Paolo Banchero, Cam Reddish. He's 6'7", listed as a forward, like another Caleb Davis, some people are saying in my Discord, which you should go join. But can defend, athletic, and can really stretch the floor as well. I'm gonna find it hard to see how some teams are gonna defend Joondalup when they've got 2 6'7" guys that can really stretch the floor, and CJ Turnage, and then Ethan Elliott running around causing switches. Oh my gosh, it's gonna be headaches for other teams. Moving on to the Cockburn Cougars, worst named suburb in the league. They signed Raheem Williams. Is a 6'6" versatile guard. Now Cockburn do not have a good track record when it comes to imports. This guy was hard to find anything about. I think he played for Snow College, and it said he only played 1 game, and that was in 2014. So if I couldn't find anything on Google, some serious scouting is going on. I couldn't find anything about him at all. So I have no idea how good this guy is going to be. They also signed Cortland Martin, who actually played in Melbourne last year in the Big V. He played pretty well. He averaged 26, 5 and 5. The guy looks like he can really handle the ball, be a really great playmaker. He is kind of small, so it will be exciting to see how he goes. To be honest, I'm pretty sure everyone has low expectations of Cockburn this year, so there's not really too much pressure on them. We got Willetton Tigers. Why did I turn American? They got Tayshaun Cherry. Hopefully I'm pronouncing that name right. He's a 6'7" forward who played for Arizona State and Grand Canyon, where he was known for being an athletic defender. He most recently played in Lithuania, where he averaged 13 points and 7 rebounds, go along with 1 steal a game. It looks pretty good. I think him and Mike Vigor will pair up pretty nicely, and Willow always do well anyway. They also signed Tyrese Davis, a 6'6" guard out of Kansas, who played college ball at Jacksonville and Eastern Washington. He's a great playmaker and can space the floor with his shooting. I mean, the guy shot 42% from 3 in his college career. This guy looks like he'll be a great player this season. Goldfields Giants. I feel sorry for any import that has to go from the US to Kalgoorlie, but to be honest, Kalgoorlie is probably exactly what they think Australia is, and then until they start to travel games, like when they go to Perry Lakes and they get to see like Scarborough Beach, they're like, what the heck am I doing up in Kalgoorlie? Unless Michael Jock is a 6'5" guard who played college basketball at MSU. From what I've seen and read, he seems to be a great defender and a fantastic hustle guy. He averaged 6.5 points a game, 5.4 assists a game, and averaged 1.3 steals as well. While, like I said earlier, I feel sorry for anyone that has to go play in Cal. Last but not least, we got the Bucks, Akeem Springs. He is a veteran, 31 years old. 6'4" guard, played Div 1 at Minnesota, where he averaged 9.5 points a game. This guy screams Jero, a veteran player who has high IQ and is a seasoned vet and just knows how to play basketball. This guy screams Jero. I mean, Jero's obviously going to do well again this season. So there we have it, a brief description of all the new imports coming in. Who do I think the best one is? Honestly, I'm going to have to say Joey Baker, because he's the player I've seen the most. And even though he might not average the most points or assists or rebounds, I think he's going to cause the most havoc for defenses. And for the second best, I'm going to have to go with 1 or 2 imports from Mandra, just because I've had like 5 different people tell me how Utley is the world's greatest recruiter. And he absolutely smashed it out of the park last season, so he might have gone 2 for 2. But yeah, let me know what you guys think of the new imports down below. If you know any more information, put it in the comments down below. If you haven't already, join the NBL1 Discord. There's a link in the description. We have debates, we have discussions, we have news. It's a great community for anyone that's a fan of the NBL1 West, and I implore you guys to join it. That's it for me. Like, comment, subscribe, do what you gotta do. I'm out. Peace.